Hello, I'm Matt O'Brien from the Office of Early Intervention, Colorado, and would like to introduce to you today the GAE Billing Details Google Sheet that will be provided to each CCB and specific to each CCB that will break down in detail month by month your GAE payment. So I'm going to go ahead and step through this Google Sheet. So when you open up the Google Sheet for the first time, you're going to land on the All Funds, All Detail viewer. Within that tab is going to be a breakdown of the GAE payment for that month, totaling here on row 2. Please note that that total amount is not including that 10% indirect payment as well. It's only going to be based on the activity numbers listed below. Moving down in the header here, you're going to see an invoice date. That's going to correspond to the month that it's invoiced. You can locate this here in column Q. And then further down, you're going to see the overall date of service. Now that's going to correspond to column G, and that's going to correspond to when the session or transaction occurred. Now, in some instances, there may be examples where previous months are entered in here, but this is the overall, you'd say the main date of service month. And in this case, so for the example that's on the screen now, the invoice date of April, date of service is going to correspond to is February. On row 6 here, or moving down, you're going to see there's a invoice data snapshot selector. Right now it's set on the current month, but what you are able to do is go ahead and pull that drop down and look at another prior month's data snapshot. Now we are implementing this currently now, April 2022. So you will have the March data snapshot available, as well as the April data snapshot available. But please note that you will not have any snapshots available prior to the March data snapshot. But in order to utilize it, you can just go ahead and select the drop down, pick the data snapshot that's available, and that will load that snapshot into the viewer. Staying within the header up above, you'll also see that there's a service summary breakdown where each of the individual services are represented, and the corresponding total amount of the GAE payment corresponding to that service will appear. Down below in the data provided, you'll see various information regarding, the total and calculated and total amounts. Also the status of the provider that activity is submitted for, as well as their corresponding CCB and full name provided. Moving across the page, you'll also see the individual service name called out, the time units, miles if appropriate, hourly rate if appropriate, flat fee as appropriate, and whether or not that it was paid by the trust. Now you should see that they will all say no, as this is a GAE payment report, so you should not see any trust payments in this particular report. Further information will include corresponding case number and pertinent information to the activity. In addition to the all data viewer, you'll notice there's a second tab, the provider status summary. So this is intended to provide a summary of those providers within the month selected. So you'll see right now the invoice date selected is March 2022, and that corresponds to the data snapshot that we selected here. So should you change that in this case to say April data snapshot, if you navigate back over to that tab, you'll see that that's updated as well. And that GAE payment total will appear here as well as in the detail viewer. And then you'll have the breakdown of each provider, their corresponding status and amount of GAE payment. In addition, if you select the current month, whatever the current month information is loaded into the report. In this case, we're in April, so that's going to call in the April invoice information, and that's going to update on the status summary as well. This will be available. This report will be available and updated every month on the 3rd of every month. At the final update will run at 6 a.m. on the 3rd of every month. So once you, as soon as you log in after this 6 a.m. on the 3rd, that's 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You should see this appear and have the current month information loaded, as well as the snapshots that are available will appear. Thank you for your time.